Welcome back to the Manor. Julian McBain here, and we are back on the hunt at Corinth. And my audio should be fixed now. It took some futzing with all of the USB ports and working around things, but it should be right back where it was. Apparently it got plugged into a USB 3.0 port, and that's a problem for the Yeti. So after some USB swapping, we're back to where we should be. So thank you for coming. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the Manor. Make sure you take a moment and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. Also, please consider going to patreon.com/JulianMcBain if you want to support my work. Big shout out to Red Kryptonite, Jason Lambertson, and Game Citizen for being my patrons. Okay, so it's Tuesday, so my assumption is that the migration migrated. Hey, Whispers. Just getting started. We're seeing if the migration migrated and we gotta locate the herd, or if we're still hunting here. We're still hunting here. Awesome. Hey, freaking Rican. This is awesome, getting my regulars going here. So we've got about 10 days left before we have to worry about the VU. And of course I've got the Virtueverse backers early access coming up on the 28th, which is I think it's exactly 14 days. No, it's not 14 days hence. I think it's 2 weeks from Friday. It's soon. Hey, Cat. It's not this Friday, it's the next Friday is when the Virtueverse EA for backers only is, and it's all dungeons. So that live stream will be dedicated to that. I don't know how that's going to go because they're releasing it the day I have the live stream. So my plan is to live stream it. I'm going to try to test it before the live stream to make sure it actually works, because I hate to get in there and find out that I really can't do a very effective live stream. That would kind of suck. But I'll see if I can't gather some early colonists to help me with that. In the meantime, we are going to continue with our hunt for Longtooth and Swirlies. You know, I gotta say, I never expected to be looking for Swirlies. Now, I remember a time when Swirlies were bad. Some serious Boy Meets World territory there. But as we're on the road for globals and trying to get together our Longtooth challenge, which I don't think I'm going to make rank 26 this year, but we're going to get pretty far in it. Like, I'm already at the same point I normally am for Mayhems. And I keep not intentionally working on my Berry Clay Star Challenge. But like, let's get the next one going here. There we go. If we look at like our Easter robots, that made level 10. Halloween last year made level 17, so we're in the ballpark now. I think Summer ended up at 14, or was it Mary? Mary was 14. Oh, Summer was 14 as well. So, gotta say, I really like the Codex missions. I am gonna miss the way the Iron missions work, but I like how customizable the Codex missions are, and I really can't wait for them to move out to the other planets. My hope is that this VU will be a step in that direction. Mindark hasn't exactly released when they do that. They're planning on doing that because Mindark doesn't release much of anything, which, to be fair, is largely our own fault. You know, we as players have to remember that Mind Arc is a small group of human beings. And I know there's a lot of players that give Mind Arc a lot of flack. And some of that flack is well-deserved. Some of that flack is not so much. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when Mind Arc says they're planning on doing something, hope that it's going to happen and understand that there's only 12 people in this tiny-ass office in Sweden. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Haagen-Dazs pistachio and McBain livestream like peanut butter and jelly. I have questions. I have questions and I'm not sure I want the answers to any of them. I will say pistachios. Love pistachios. It's been a long time since I've had pistachio ice cream, though. Not gonna lie. Admittedly, pistachios don't always like me. But then again, neither do almonds, and I adore almonds. Stupid chickens. Now, wait a second, Cat. Haagen-Dazs and not Ben & Jerry's? I'm not picking on you, because, you know, I've never actually really had Haagen-Dazs. I was always an Eddie's person. But I'm kind of surprised, because, you know, Vermonter, Ben & Jerry's, they're kind of the compliment. How is Haagen-Dazs in comparison to Ben & Jerry's? Can anyone tell me? I mean, when it comes to, like, ingredients, I gotta say Ben & Jerry's beats anyone else that I've experienced, hands down. But when it comes to quality of product compared to price, like, Ben & Jerry's is top quality, you're also paying top dollar. Edie's is not quite as good, but you're paying a hell of a lot less for the ice cream. So that's where I usually ended up defaulting to Eddie's ice cream. Ben & Jerry's doesn't have a strawberry. That is fair. That is absolutely fair. For some reason, I thought they did. Maybe it's in their graveyard. Yes, for those of you wondering, Ben & Jerry's does have a graveyard here in Vermont. You can visit it, and it has all of their flavors they have permanently discontinued. And it's about 30 minutes north of me. Not straight north, like it's a 30-minute door-to-door trip, maybe 45. Door-to-door trip for me to get to Ben & Jerry's, the factory. And they do factory tours like all year long. The tours are free. They give you a little sample of ice cream at the end, and then you end up spending your wallet on pints of ice cream, not beer. And then you go to a local bar, and then you spend the rest of your money on pints of beer. But no, the Ben & Jerry's factory is cool. I recommend anyone who decides to come to Vermont for any reason, do the Ben & Jerry's tour once. Whether you're up here to ski or to visit Burlington, because everyone comes here for Burlington for some reason, or if you're here for leaf peeping, or if you're up here during mud season because you're completely insane and like to be up to your asshole in mud for 2 weeks, go to the Ben & Jerry's factory. Don't go to the Ben & Jerry's factory in the same clothes you were in the mud in. They don't like that. You know, Whispers, that's a good question. I honestly don't know either. But, you know, I wouldn't put it past them. Ben & Jerry's... So Ben & Jerry's was actually started by a pair of hippies, which is kind of appropriate for Vermont. And, they just started making ice cream, and I believe all of their ice cream is made from milk from Jersey cows. Now, here's the thing. Most people don't think there would be much of a difference. But, like, most Vermont milk is also straight Jersey cow milk. And the difference between Jersey cows and other cows, if anyone cares, Jersey cows have the most cream per gallon, which means their milk is richer. Especially their whole milk. Jersey cow whole milk, there is no comparison. There is no comparison. But the milk is richer. That makes a richer ice cream. That makes richer cheeses. I believe all of Cabot's cheese is made from Jersey cow milk. So it's just, it makes a totally different experience on dairy products. Okay, so yeah, Ringoshi, you're actually not terribly far. Yeah, the more you know. Welcome to the McBain stream where you learn more about cows than you ever cared to learn about. I'm not even a cow farmer. My family owned chickens, and I didn't even live here when we owned chickens. Although, if certain members of my family have anything to say about it, that might change. I'm trying to convince them to get an emu. I'm like, chickens are great. I want chickens. I like fresh eggs. I really love farm fresh eggs. That was awesome. But I want an emu. For two reasons. One, emus produce honkin' big eggs. And two, if there's an emu in the yard, the foxes and the coyotes and all the other predators stay away because the emu will just go fuck you and step all over them. Oh, okay, Gringoshi. So, the terrain you see in front of me on the game is probably what you're used to seeing all the time. I'm being facetious, of course, although I used to live in a place that looked a lot like this. Now, tell me something. Why is it my stream always turns into food? I'm not bitching, I'm just curious. Maybe we'll just call that my good luck charm. Gringoshi, instead of checking the dunks, go to basically any grocery store and check. Ben & Jerry's only sells in pints, so look in the pint section if you have one. Oh, by the way, when I say my family kept chickens, I'm not talking about these assholes. Okay, that's fair, Gringoshi. Well, maybe that's just like the theme of the stream. It's we sit here, we play Entropia Universe, and we talk about food. Nothing wrong with that. I gotta say, it's an enjoyable topic, although it helps that the entire chat is entirely filled with foodies. Although I will I'm gonna take a moment, because I see there's 7 people in the chat, but there's only 3 likes. So, if those of you who haven't yet would kindly smash the like button, or if you're on a mobile device, lightly tap the like button so you don't break anything. it would be greatly appreciated. It really helps me to grow my channel. And if you're just popping in and have never seen this before, please consider subscribing. I promise I talk about more than food. I produce videos 7 days a week, almost every week. I actually forgot to post yesterday's video. It's still in, it's there, it's in the can. I meant to upload it. I got to work and I'm like, oh shit. Because I had lodged last night, I didn't have time to upload it and do the thumbnail, so I'm just like, screw it, we'll put it out on Thursday. But so, you'll be happy to know, Grangoshi, that all Ben & Jerry's ice cream is produced right here in Vermont. It's then packaged and shipped. They don't produce it anywhere else. It's not like they have an Arizona factory or a Midwest factory, which does make it more expensive out there. Having lived in North Dakota, I learned that the hard way. Montana, it was like $5 or $6 a pint at a time when it was barely $4 a pint here, but it's worth it. And I definitely give it a look. But every pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream is produced in Waterbury, Vermont, Ben & Jerry's factory, shipped all over the U.S. You only broke one device doing that. Well, EK Mortal, I want to welcome you to the manor, whether or not you know how you got here. As it happens today, the manor happens to be taking place in the desert. Did they finally change that, Cat? Do they have a satellite factory now? Oh, that's right, they got bought by somebody. By Unilever. But I do know the majority of their ice cream, I believe, is still produced in their main factory. And I believe they use all the same rules, although I could be wrong about that. You know, Freakin' Rican, I have to admit, I know that his name is EK Mortal, but you just saying, "What's up, Mortal?" just makes it sound like you're, you know, Thor or something. What's up, Mortal? Oh, is it in St. Albans? Really? Huh. This is what I get for moving away for 10 years. That is a true story. That is fair. See, look at this. I'm getting schooled about Vermont companies by a maniac who actually has all of the information when I, a Vermonter, do not. Which, and I'm not saying he's incorrect. I know for a fact he's correct. It's just that I'm kind of ashamed of myself as a Vermonter for not knowing this. Israel. Yes, they do have an Israel factory, I'll be damned. Global! Oh, 229 ped. Now that's a global I've been needing. Huh. Tell you something about lobster sometime. Yeah. The only thing I can say about lobster is, one, I think it tastes better grilled than steamed. And two, to this day, I can still eat it without a bib and in a suit and not get a drop on me. Which, by the way, if you ever want to surprise people in the Midwest, eat lobster without a bib and not get a mess on you. It'll impress them every time. I do have to admit, I'd forgotten that ice cream is kosher. For some reason, I didn't think about that at all. So yeah, typical Tuesday night, got all the usual suspects, and we're talking about food. Many things are kosher, that is true. I was surprised to discover that only the front half of the animal can be used in a lot of animals can be used in kosher food. Which was very surprising. And of course, pork is not kosher at all. Which is a shame because bacon. I will say though, I will only use kosher salt. And I'm serious about that. Whenever, like, when I'm cooking, when I am, if I pick up something at a restaurant, if I have access to kosher salt, I will use only kosher salt, as opposed to like standard table salt. There is a flavor difference. The way it applies is different. I don't know. It's better, in my opinion. Yeah, Kenrick, no, I grew up around here. I know better. I don't use a bib for lobster because I've eaten enough lobster to know how to break it open without getting shit all over me. Because, you know, Vermont's not Maine, but we're still close enough to where it's fairly inexpensive frequently enough for it to not be a completely out of the realm of possibility. We always buy it on sale when it's like $5.99 a pound. I don't mean every time it's on sale, but when we do buy it, it's always on sale. You know? So. That being said, going to Joe's Crab Shack in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where there isn't an ocean for 1,000 miles in either direction, actually close to 2,000 miles in either direction, you want to impress someone, you get a lobster out there, and you eat the whole damn thing without a bib, without getting a mess on yourself. Kenrick, are you talking crab or lobster? Because, honestly, I've only ever had king crab legs, which they were okay. I've never had soft shell crab, I've never had hard shell crab, and I've never had Othelio crab, although I've heard Othelio crab is a delicacy. Yeah, Gringoshi, New England has a lot of charm. Although New Yorkers tend to call us quaint. Although, to be fair, there are places in Vermont that rather are quaint, like houses in one town that have a post office 2 towns over, so their mailing address has and their physical address are completely different. I didn't know there was a soft shell lobster. I've always had chicken lobster. But I'm not a Maynard. So that is new information for me. My son's great-grandmother and great-grandfather live in Prince Edward Island, though. And interestingly, lobster there is only $1 Canadian a pound on average. That doesn't impress everyone. They just get them behind you to cheer. You want to piss anyone in Minnesota off, say F the Vikings. You say F the Vikings or you wear a Packers jersey in Minnesota, they're going to run you out of wherever you are. Which, that's kind of a curious dynamic. It's very similar to the Yankees and the Red Sox. Like, if you're a Red Sox fan in Yankees territory, a Yankees fan in Red Sox territory, you're in danger. Like, I'm in danger. Danger. Okay. It is, if a cop sees a guy with a Red Sox cap, or a person with a Red Sox cap, hit someone with a Yankees cap on, they're not going to do anything. They'll just be like, well, should have been wearing that hat in this neighborhood, boy. I wish I was joking about this. I have personally seen this happen. This person was just walking down the street with a Yankees cap. This guy in a friggin' Red Sox cap walks by him and just wails on his shoulder. It's like, what did I do? He's like, Yankees, Red Sox. It's just what we do. I have to admit, I do miss Minnesota. The cities are awesome. I got a lot of friends in Minnesota. Great place to be. Not sure if I'd live in the cities. Oh, but there is this place in, I want to say it's St. Cloud, but I think it's the next exit down. It's a truck stop. But wait for it. Stay with me here for a minute. In this truck stop, you have all the normal truck stop things, right? You've got the convenience store, you've got the restaurant, you've got the showers, whatever. There's also a world-class bakery. And what I mean by that is the donuts are 6 inches in diameter. The scones, triangular muffin-based scones, are 5 to 7 inches at the base of the triangle. They do loaves of bread. They do all kinds of other baked goods, bear claws and pastries and cakes and, health food. And it's all priced at the same price you get the smaller shit at like a Dunk's. Legit, every time we go out there from Bismarck, we'd stop at this place, and we'd be bringing home scones and donuts and loaves of cinnamon bread, which cinnamon bread is just freaking, I say things are to die for. This is worth murder, okay? No joke. You throw that shit in a toaster, let it pop about medium toasted, you throw some butter on that. That's dessert, man. Screw breakfast. That is dessert. Yes, it is. but only the ones that travel through Minnesota. We actually took a 45-minute detour once just to make sure we hit this damn truck stop. I wish I was making that up. Because we were all like, yeah, let's go. And so our driver, because it was daytime, because normally I would drive at night because the people I rode with were, the person that owned the van that I rode with was night blind. She's like, okay, we'll go there. And we're taking like this random, I'm like, where the hell are we going? She's like, well, we had to travel like 30 minutes extra north just to go to this truck stop. I'm like, well, if you had mentioned we were that far south, we probably would have said, screw it. And she's like, no, I want a donut. I'm like, okay. So it turned our 6-hour drive into a 7-hour drive, but it was worth every mile. And I mean, and especially for Kenrick and Kat, I mean that's a 6-hour drive from Bismarck to Minneapolis, and I made it roughly 6 times a year. This is why traveling to Connecticut just doesn't faze me. When it's 4 hours long, it's like, oh, it's only 4 hours. I would have done that trip through New York if I'd been able to get the time off. I don't remember if that was a coronation or 12th night. That was 12th night, wasn't it? I think that was 12th night. Yeah. Oh no, I had to be here because of my group had an event going on. Yeah, I probably would have still gone. I actually enjoy the longer trips. I miss traveling to events. I do. I miss the long car rides. And this sounds really strange, I know. But when you get friends in a vehicle, the ride just deals with itself. You don't feel the length of the ride. You're in there and you're talking and you're joking and there's laughter and stories are being told. And, you know, inevitably someone's sewing in the front seat. And you're just having a good time. And so it doesn't matter whether it's 3 hours or 6. By the time you get there, you're not, after 6 hours, you're not sorry the car ride's over. But at the same time, it's just like, oh, okay. So now you're all, you know, keyed up and shit, and so you go back inside and you do some more talking, but now you can have alcohol, so you have alcohol and you're chatting. And you don't get to bed for like an hour, even if it's midnight. So on the average trip, we leave Bismarck at 5:30 p.m. We'd make it to our location between 11:30 and midnight and go bed down for 1. And that was pretty normal. Global! Whoa! Thank you, Mindark. 103 ped that time. We're doing pretty good. Let's convert. Let's encourage Mindark to give us a 3rd global tonight, eh? 2.5 hours. I'm not going to complain about that at all. I will say that although we can't travel yet, another reason for us to hope the Rona gets over sooner rather than later. I did have a lot of fun stabbing my friends on Sunday with proper safety equipment. I hope Ludius is in the stream. Ludius is paying attention to the stream. It's always good luck to have Ludius on one side. And getting 325 petting globals in a half an hour is definitely a good indication. Ludius is our friend. You know, I gotta admit, I'm kind of surprised there's as many people as there are still working on non-migration stuff, with the codex being new to this migration. But maybe that's just their thing. I mean, obviously, if they're on other planets, that's going to be different, but I'm talking about those that are... Someone just constructed explosive projectiles for almost $90. Holy crap. That's got to be a Hoff. Sorry, I have to give DME a little bit of shit. Whoa, what happened? Got something. Oh, professional leveling is Whipper. I am now a level 24 Whipper. I've barely used one. Someone's gonna make a bad joke there. I'm also a level 7 captain now. Apparently there's something going on. So for those of you who are who play Entropia, apparently there's something going on for Monria. Make sure you join the Monria chat before 1200 game time tomorrow. Apparently an announcement of some sort is going to be made, so pay attention. That was dumb. Check in with DME. You know, that's something I haven't made an attempt to do on a live stream, is do pet taming, which is not really my thing. Although I could grab a whip and go do tame bristle hogs, because I don't mind throwing them in the grinder. I got a problem with throwing cats and dogs in the grinder, because I mean, look at how many I've got. Kitty. I've got these. They're Mayhuas, but they're pandas. I've got my Whiskers. I've got Patrick, who I actually named. This is my personal kitty. I'm sure a couple people will make some really bad jokes about all that. Actually, pet taming is a lot more complex than I give it credit for. It really is. If there's one thing that they took the time to really think about the mechanics on, is pet taming. Because you gotta get the marker within the zone, and then you have to hit the attempt button at the right time, and if you don't do it right, you fail. Yes, I know my friends very well. I gotta say, everyone that joins my stream has been amazing. Just fantastic. Yeah, we'll continue this way. Make sure that they're all the right level. Okay. Because I'd hate for what to happen at the at the beginning of migration to happen to me again, where I'm like, oh, they're gonna be level 14, and they ended up being level 29. I got my face handed to me on a platter. Grengoshi, I'm assuming that's in-game, and as soon as I receive it, I will be more than happy to accept it. It usually takes a hot minute for it to reach the other side. Oh, you know what? I wonder if... There it is. There we go, Gringoshi. Friend request accepted. And really, I'll accept a friend request from anyone who sends it to me. You know. But I'll especially accept friend requests from those who watch my channel. I should be more accurate with that. I will always accept a friend request from someone who informs me they're sending it to me from the channel. If you just randomly send me one, let me know who you are. Because I know that a lot of people's names in the game will not match up with their names out of game, like in stream or what have you. Just so I can put a avatar to an avatar, for lack of a better term. Oh shit, Big Fred's spark. Yeah. Big Fred's farts would kill an entire air zone. Start swimming 0G. I do kind of consider, so I'm kind of torn. I consider both Monria and Cyrene my home planet, even though technically Calypso is my quote-unquote home planet. It's just, these are the two places I enjoy the most. So I go out of my way to visit them every year. In Monria, this year I spent like 3 months on Monria. I went there for New Year's, and I didn't leave until after St. Patrick's Day. I just enjoyed it that much, but I did have to do some work here. Let's do this. Gulp. So my chip level 3 is starting to die. It is. We're gonna have to move down to the level 2. For those of you wondering, I'm just working through some I'm just trying to burn off the extra chips I've got. After which I'll go back to what I'm supposed to. I do need to replace this chip 5 with a chip 6, which I know that I can get from Mission Galactica. Which at some point I am going to have to do. I'm not entirely sure that is a really easy one to live stream, because I know that part of it's going to be, let's sit here and sweat mobs for hours on end. That's part of the mission. Oh God, Whisper. Siren's loot table is amazing. You want a good place to hunt Panleons. Like, hunt Panleons. Especially if you're in like the R Matrix 10 to 15 zone, just Panleons all the way. I will say if you're doing like the epic fat chain, that's gonna get your looter skills way up. That might make Panleons a little less efficient. But those stupid crabs, you want to build skill points? Just the giant ass crabs up, I believe they're in the northwest corner. And you just have to hunt them for their meat. And that sounded wrong, but you just hunt them for the meat, the bone-in meat. And you will get skills like there's no tomorrow. I love Siren. I'm really hoping that Siren comes out with a lot more content. Their developers are extremely engaged. Go to the Siren forums. I'd like to see a little more participation in the game itself from their developers. The way like they have DME here in in-game on Monteria. But Siren's an amazing place. Tie claws, yes, that's what they're called. And as soon as migration over, that's where I'm headed. I'm packing up a couple extra swords. We're gonna get some, extra equipment going. I'm gonna try to convince Lore Spade to sell me, to make me some swords so that I can get them from a friend. And then I'm going to Siren. And I'm planning on being there from the end of migration, probably until Halloween Mayhem. We're gonna hunt some Men-Shen. I like hunting Men-Shen. There's a couple of wave events on Siren I really need to try doing again. I wasn't the right level, although to be fair, there's this one wave event where you can do the waves. And then the boss shows up and you need to have like 10 people there, and that just doesn't work. I'm like, I'm doing it, and then this boss shows up and I'm just like, oh shit, and it went achoo and I died. Yeah, Lore Spade does what he can. He's good people. But I think I'm gonna send him a message because I'm actually in his Discord. I think I'm gonna send him a private message and just be like, hey man, I'll even pay in advance if you want to just make me a few swords. Because he's one of the few people that I'll trust. Global number 3 for 68 ped. With paying in advance. Because he's got a reputation to maintain. And I know he's not going to screw that over. He's not going to break that. No, Fallout 76, totally different story because real money's not involved. I would totally expect him to loot my corpse if I was stupid enough to be carrying loot on me in Fallout 76. Entropia universe, different story. Freaking Regan, what's on fire? Are you on fire? Do we need to call you help? I mean, I can. I'm not sure how to get you the fire department. No, stop, drop, and roll, man. Stop, drop, and roll. I hit the guy in front of him. I actually find that rather amusing. I find that rather amusing. Oh yes, I am on fire for globals. Thank you, freaking Rican. Hey y'all, I still got 2 people who ain't hit that thumbs up sign. If you could please do me a favor and hit the thumbs up. And think about sharing me out to your social media. That really helps me out. It helps me beat the algorithm. Because we're on the road to 13 million subscribers. We ain't gonna get there alone. I need all the help you can give me. And I was really hoping to make 1,000 subs this year. We haven't even made 500, so every sub I can get gets me closer to that 1,000 sub line. Please help me get over the line. If you're on fire, do not fart. Actually, that would be rather amusing. Just make sure that the people who are trying to help you aren't behind you if you do have to fart. So yeah, after, it'll probably be immediately after the Virtueverse videos, or a live stream, you'll see me on Cyrene again. I plan on traveling out there as soon as migration's over. Especially for shorter stature. And I do plan on being there a while. I did not stay on Cyrene as long as I normally do last year. And part of that was because I wanted to hit Arcadia and Next Island and Toulon. I actually traveled quite a bit last year. The only planet I didn't truly hit was Entropia. And that had originally been in my plan for this year, but it never ended up happening. I grew up in the 80s, and all of the stuff on Entropia just reminds me of the 80s. And you've got the really risque stuff that, you know, Never Die that Randy Bastard put on his planet. So I'm kind of hesitant to do so, because my 12-year-old watches this. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's a planet that's not in my repertoire. And then you've got Hell, which is part of Entropia. Although, admittedly, I've never been to Arcadia Moon either, which is ironic because I own a chunk of it. Wait. Entropia deeds are a thing now? Oh, I got the answer to that, Whispers. Hang on. Kansas City, 89 or 90. Yes, he did wrestle Bad News Brown. Went home on the Ghetto Blaster. He also said that he gave the man's real name, which is Alan Coage, C-O-A-G-E, and said he was awesome. An awesome person. hopefully that will provide the authentication you're looking for. I know James. So the guy, hell, what was his wrestling name? Now I can't friggin' remember. Jim Ruby. I know Jim Ruby as Master Niklos. Because after he was done wrestling, he took up SCA. He became a thug stick. And his wife is scary. Best cook I've ever met, scary woman. She has a pole arm, which is a 6-foot stick that was whittled down, hand whittled. 6-foot long stick, 3 inches wide down to a 1.5 inch wide pole, named Leg Taker. Leg Taker has taken legs. Like, they're done fighting for the day with this stick having been laid upon them. This is how dangerous Anna Mothra is. Mothra is a wonderful person. She makes the most amazing meals on the planet. She's one of the few people I am absolutely terrified of. And this is the wife of Jim Ruby, the wrestler. Back when wrestling was real and not entertainment. But Jim Ruby still, like, he'll post pictures on his Facebook. I'm on his Facebook. He'll post pictures on his Facebook of him with his fencing gear on. And he has this almost psychotic grin of cheer as he's holding fencing weapons, which is historical fencing. So he'll have his dagger and his sword in his hand. And he'll just have this, I stab people, and it was awesome look. I never got to fence him. I really wish I could have. If I ever travel back out that way, I need to make sure I face him on the fencing field, because he had retired the thug stick field before I started doing the SCA. For the most part, he did training and stuff, but he didn't really take to the field. But he took up fencing about the same time I left, and I had always hoped to fight him, and I never got to. But he... Global number 4, 51 ped. I noticed the diminishing returns, but you know what? I'm not gonna bitch. But no, Jim Ruby is just an awesome person. He really is. If you're in the Midwest, so you were talking Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, ask for Master Niklos. You will not be disappointed. If you're in the SCA. Of course, I recommend the SCA for anyone who does shit like this, because it's a geek city. But that's just me. But you know, this means I've met only 2 wrestlers in my life, and I feel like I need to meet more, because the people I've met that were in wrestling are some of the absolute nicest people ever. Like, fighters as a rule are nice, but like professional wrestlers. I don't know if it's just a thing, but it is. Interestingly, Ronda Rousey, or Rousey, is from North Dakota. Or maybe that was... No, she was from North Dakota. And I think Brock, what the hell was his name? Brock... Lesnar. Brock Lesnar had connections to North Dakota as well. Oh, he was from South Dakota. Which would actually explain a lot, because the Dakotas, in North Dakota they call it North Dakota nice, and South Dakota South Dakota. They have, it's a cultural thing where it's just, they have an extreme amount of tact, almost too much tact. Like in New England we're kind of blunt, right? It's not uncommon. You're on the road, someone's being a jerk, you open your window, you flip them off, right? Expletives come flying out the window. Hell, even my political campaign is rated SC for some cussing. Okay? That's New England life, right? We drop F-bombs as an inflection here. You don't do that shit in the Dakotas. Yes, Lesnar, thank you. I do have to admit, it was really interesting to see actual wrestling in WWE when Brock Lesnar and Goldberg faced off. Like, they did this whole hype thing, and then all of a sudden it was an actual wrestling match. It wasn't the show shit, it was like they're actually wrestling. I was like, holy shit, they're actually, it's like real for a change. God, I haven't watched WWE in like 15 years. I distinctly recall when Undertaker and Kane had their whole feud going on. And that was pretty much the beginning and end of my WWE experience, was that whole period of time. We're talking like 2003. Which, I mean, to be fair, it's a lot of fun watching. But being a fighter now, knowing the difference between actual wrestling and entertainment wrestling, it's just like, eh. Yes. In fact, that was during the same time that Kurt Angle had his feud with John Cena. And John Cena was a heel. And John Cena was supposedly this evil person, and all of a sudden he joins Kurt Angle in that team matchup, the 5-on-5, and all of a sudden John Cena became the fucking hero. And that's where C-Nation ended up popping up. And now everyone loves John Cena. And John Cena, from what I understand, like, not even just in show, in real life, he's supposedly this awesome person, which would really tailor off the idea that you said Whispers where real wrestlers are actually really nice people IRL. Even the ones who play heels on the regular. But it was just like total 180 from what he had been doing. I know I'm probably losing people here. We're talking about professional wrestling. But, and shit, I haven't watched professional wrestling since then. But no, it's good stuff. Now, to be fair, I don't watch a whole lot of television anymore. This is the same time the Joe Show Shoujo was out. Global number 5, 159 ped. Thank you, Mindark. Holy shit. Oh, wow. We're doing good. Yes, that was when Cena was rapping. I remember when he asked to trade his four partners in for a one-night stand with Sable. That, like, stuck out in my mind. I think I was 19 years old. I was still with my first girlfriend. So that tells you how long ago that shit was. That was, yeah. Wow, I was young. Right, Whispers? Is Ludius actually in the chat today? Kind of wish that would today. I mean, it's a Tuesday, so unfortunately I'm stuck, like, really sticking to an hour-and-a-half chat, but 5 globals in a night. You can't beat this shit with a stick, you know what I'm saying? No, don't, stop. Thank you. Gringoshi, I think I'm 44. 45. Swordsman hit 45 is my highest level profession. That's odd. Where is... Shouldn't be biotropic. Is it under combat? Pyrokinetic of 19, okay. Getting up there. But yeah, no, 45 for Swordsman. I'm still 65 levels off being a certified looter, Uber in the Entropia Discord. You're level 4. Depends on what profession, Freakin' Rican. Is that your maximum profession? And you know what? There's nothing wrong with being level 4. Nope. My combat skills are pretty good. But if you want to look at my construction, 1. Level 6 is my maximum. Not including my looter professions, I'm level 10 resource gatherer. And like all of my mining skills are novice, amateur. Mind force is okay. But I still have some level 0 skill professions. For skills, I'm running on 119,000. Of which my health is the one I'm really proud of, and my strength. Because I can carry 361 kilograms worth of stuff. Grind on your mind. That's the way to be. That is the way to be. Embrace the grind, man. In both game and in life, embracing the grind will get you where you're going. So, dodge I understand, but Rollabot profession? Are you talking about the scavenging for robot looter, or... That's the wrong one. This one here? Which admittedly I could definitely use some improvement on. Actually, come to think of it, I think I could improve on all of them. Animal Looter, of course, is the best out of all of them because I hunt a lot of animals, but Mutant has almost been exclusively from Mayhem's. Robot Looter, I spend a lot of time in Orthos. Just book and spare rifle and shooting up robots just to farm skills. It's just so I can play Entropia Universe while I'm watching something and not waste just watching something. No problem, Gringoshi. I just wanted to make sure I had it right. Oh hey, Riot House, welcome back. Greetings and salutations. Stealing Lore Spade's lines, I see. Although admittedly I do miss his old line of greetings and salutations, my fellow Entropians. Yeah, I know you're watching this, Flores. Probably watching on a replay instead of live, otherwise you'd have said something in chat, but... You know, all of us YouTubers, streamers have our own greeting, the way we open, the intro. And it took me a while to figure out what I was going to do, and I chose the manor because the manor represents a dream, but also represents a trust. You know, it represents that I'm gonna build something out of it. Because both Cat Spoonbreaker and Captain Aubrey can tell you I don't live in no manor. It's not a bad home. It's a raised ranch. It's a nice house. But it's a country home. It ain't no manor. It's an idea. And I did build the manor in Fallout 76, to the extent that I could. But I'll continue building it, because really, the manor is all of you. Like any... I designed the idea of the manor off an old feudal estate because I play in the Middle Ages, so of course I did. But a manor isn't a manor without the people. And all of you are those people. And yes, there have been 5 globals. And there has been talk of ice cream. Specifically Ben & Jerry's, because Ben & Jerry's is only like half an hour from my home. Thank you, Kat. I appreciate that. Boy, all my weapons are starting to decay out. This is actually probably going to last us the next 15 minutes or so. Where is our Mind Force chip at? Oh, we're good. Probably end it when the sword dies. So Riot House, have you ever actually been to like the Ben & Jerry's factory? And I mean they're like their show factory, the main factory in Waterbury. Waterbury, Vermont. Let me rephrase that. I'm so used to being, oh, it's in Waterbury, and then I remember, oh yeah, I could be talking to someone who's in England, even though it's like 5 in the morning there. if you ever make it to Vermont for any reason, travel to Waterbury, Vermont, visit the Ben & Jerry's factory. Don't care this season, it's worth it. Summer, of course, is better because then you can visit the graveyard. But seriously. Take the tour. It's actually really cool, to be honest. Oh yeah, we did talk about lobsters, didn't we, Whispers? I have to admit, Vermont's a very unique place. You know, for all of the complaints, I will level at my home state. And I know I was born in New Hampshire, but I was raised here. I'm sorry. I was brought here when I was 3. I'm a Vermonter through and through. It doesn't matter where I was born. This is where I was raised. For all the complaints I have about this state, which I have a lot of them, and they're legitimate, because, frankly, if you grew up here, you really know the problems of the place you live. There is a lot of good in this state. There really is. Good people, good traditions, good culture. It's just a great place overall. And, I mean, does it have its issues? Yeah, of course it has its issues. Every place has its issues. You know? The Dakotas have its issues, and I've loved the Dakotas. I lived there for almost a decade. Montana has its issues. Minnesota has its issues. Texas has its issues. Texas is an amazing place too. I love Texas. God, do I love Texas. I could comfortably live in Texas. In fact, I planned on living in Texas until, you know, I broke up with the girl that I was dating that was from Texas. But Texas is a great place. For Vermont, there is a uniqueness to this state. Just a cultural uniqueness you can't find anywhere else. And maybe it's because of all the gun-toting hippies, but in the end, Vermont will always be home to me in some way. You know, a piece of me still lives in the Midwest. A piece of me still lives in North Dakota. A piece of me still lives in Texas. But no matter where I go, and a piece of me will always live in New Hampshire because that's where like 99% of my family is. And that's where I was born. But there will always be a piece of me, and it doesn't matter how far I roam, that will always live here in the Green Mountains. I have heard of that riot. I have. And it's on my list, although my problem with going to medieval times, if I go to medieval times, they'll be like, okay, armor me up. Nope. That's okay, I'll wait. Put the armor on me. No, I got experience. Here's all my experience. Here's my resume. Like 8 years of fighting experience. I've done heavy, armored combat before. I've done fencing combat. I've done armored combat, league combat. Just hand me a lance. Let's do this shit. I would totally joust someone just to say I had that on my resume. Just to say I did it. And I know part of the thing is that jousting is really showmanship. I'm not saying that the matches are predetermined, but they know how to hit each other so they don't actually hurt each other. I've done fighting where it's like, yeah, if we hurt each other, it kind of sucks, but oh well. Oh God, Cat, you're not you're not joking. I would hate working for that. Doesn't mean I don't want to try jousting though. If the SCA brought jousting into it, I'd be on a horse so fast it would not be funny. The biggest reason why I haven't, there are two biggest reasons why I haven't tried equestrian. One, I haven't really ridden a horse in like 20 years. And it hurts my soul to be able to say that it's been 20 years. But seriously, 20 years ago, oh my God, it's almost 25 now. This is before my brother was born. So yeah, I was like 11. I was getting ready to do shows and dressage. We're talking English saddle, military showmanship, horseback riding. That's how long it's been since I truly rode a horse. 25 years. I can't fucking believe I'm old enough to say it was 25 years ago. It was 25 years ago. I would detest working just to do the show. No, I want to get on the horse, pick up the lance, and actually joust someone. Okay? And I know my life would be at risk. I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that. Let's do this shit. And you know what? My ribs could be cracked again. I could get a concussion again. Or I could be on death's door. I really don't care, because then I could say I actually did it. And you know what? When I end up at the gates of St. You know, in St. Peter's there looking at me, or honestly, it will probably be Lucifer looking at me saying, why the hell did you do it? And I'd just be like, because it was fun. Why wouldn't I do it, right? For the rush, man. Yes, I am just a little psycho. I love fighting. I love fighting in all its forms. You want to do fencing? I'll do fencing. You want to do heavy list? I'll do heavy. Armored Combat League, IMCF, modern version, ancient version, martial arts, karate, jiu-jitsu. That's all awesome. Fucking chicken. Not fucking chickens, but fighting chickens. Not my preference. Jousting. Paintball, airsoft, I'll do it all. Miles. I've done military integrated laser engagement system fighting. You're carrying the actual weapons with blanks. I will do it all. Okay, we're coming up to the end here, so let's take out one more long tooth, and then we're gonna get ourselves to safety. I can't believe 5 globals, folks. 5 globals. It has been an amazing night. We'll see if Lydius really shines upon us with one more. I don't necessarily think it's gonna happen, but I ain't gonna bitch. We have gone through more than 100 pet on this amp, though. Hey, I ain't gonna pick fun at laser tag. Laser tag's fun. Ah, fuck. Actually, that was my son's grandparents, my folks' present to my son on his birthday, was to take him doing, like, laser tag and the whole setup and shit. I think there were 10 of us there if you counted them all. That was nuts. That was a lot of fun. Once I figured out what the hell I was doing. Because laser tag's different from paintball or other things. The way that they design it, the way that you set up. You're not allowed to, apparently you're not allowed to like bash your opponent in the face. No, I didn't do that. I didn't bash my opponent with the rifle. But, yeah, that's what I'm used to. It's like, oh, there's an opponent there, whack. Hey, Plague. Welcome to the manor, although you're coming in a bit late. We're just cleaning up now. But please, by all means, catch the replay and make sure you hit the like button, please. In fact, we got 3 people watching. We're still 3 short. If you're watching and you haven't done so yet, please hit the like button. Just smash the like button, because it really helps me out, and I appreciate it. And please consider subscribing. And if you really like what I do, please go to patreon.com/JulianMcBain and consider becoming a member. Where you get the ebooks, The Modern Entropian, and Personal Finance for Gamers for being a member. I don't think so. Freaking Regan, I don't think I've had 5. I think I've made 4 a couple of times, but never 5. Then again, I don't think I've walked into a wall on stream either, so there's that. So we got 114.23 going on. Really? So I had to buy a sword tonight, so it's 202.23 for total cost. Which I didn't end up using that sword, but it's still a thing, because we're going to need it. The next time I go hunting, I'm going to need it, because I only have 151 shots at best with this one. Whereas for total, and I recycled trap a couple of times. I mean, whoa. Can't argue with that, but 254.30 for a 52.08 total profit for the evening. That's pretty good, because I always convert my ammo whenever possible. Occasionally I'll burn shrap for repairs, but not. We're above 10 million. We started at 7. We're above 10 million, or 1,000 ped for ammo. That's a win, guys. 600 ped for an exchange of 202. 3 globals. We're in the money. We are seriously in the money. And I can actually almost put my animal muscle oil up for sale. We are doing good. Just gonna drop all this in here. These extractors, of course, will be a long time before I can sell them, but okay. everybody. Let's take one last look. Okay, we are good to go. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time. So make sure you subscribe. Also, make sure you go to patreon.com/JulianMcBain if you want to support my work. If you do, you will get the Modern Entropian and Personal Finance for Gamers for joining. Thank you so much to Citizen Gaming, Game Citizen, sorry, Jason Lambert. Did I get your name it? Lambert Sin. Sorry, Jay. And I can't do anyone's name correctly. It's Game Citizen, Jason Lambertson, and Red Kryptonite. Thank you so much for being my patrons. We will see you all on Friday. You all have a wonderful evening.